so popular. Journey,
Yes,
not a
sir.
dissatisfied one.
Yes, sir.
Each of these chapters open.
And where it is we're
J.D. Power has ranked Nissan #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands. And to celebrate, you can now get in one of these award-winning SUVs with 0% APR.
every day's a sunny day. That video just made me feel good. We'll get one more in here.
And I think that when you switch that, it's a beautiful thing. Like it'll get figured out. I just have to be driven, persistent, and then
Disciplined. Yep.
in my pursuit of what I want to do. You know, it sounds so simple.
So now, a little buzz in your ear, but the reason for the topic today is because I was once again sitting back, looking at my own picture of my own endeavors, and I just started thinking. I was like, man, maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should put this out differently or do that differently. And I was like, well, what would I do in the meantime? To be honest with you, what would you do in the meantime, sir? And having that conversation with myself made me see what I could be doing all the time. And so I started grabbing pieces of my routine that I was doing in spurts and just, we could do it here, we could do it there, we could do it there. And I'm now not having a dilemma of what to do, but I'm having a dilemma of not having enough time to do everything. As a matter of fact, I'm kicking sleep to the side. You ain't even gonna sleep. But I gotta sleep. So wake up, you gotta do more. And so now I'm coming to an understanding of, it's like what they would call a philosophical understanding of what I'm doing here when I'm here. And when I'm not here, I'm trying to capitalize on the aspect of not being here. What I mean is, when I'm resting, when I'm sleeping, when I am trying to regenerate, I have to be focused and intentional about it. But when I'm here and I am awake and I'm doing things, I have to be intentional about that. It is giving me so much clarity that ain't even funny. And I can't stop or slow down that process. Awareness of people who don't want to be here anymore, people who don't have a choice to be here, me, and then those of us, also me, who want to make the best out the time. We want to do what we can to make the best out of this time that we are blessed, given, graced, whatever with. There's a level of persistence that you have with every breath you take. You can't stop that process. So after that process, everything after that process has a taste or flavor of intention. Intent is what I meant to say. Every little bit after that breath has intent, because the level of persistence that you are graced with by having breath in your body can't be slowed down, baby. You're gonna be here if you're here. So, all right, now I think I beat that topic down. What is it that you want to get to? Because I think we went and we hit a very, very high plateau on that last message that I just said. Everything I just said. Hey, welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Good to be in here with y'all again. Let me get my computer set up real quick. And there you go. It is not Healthy Mental Thursday. It is Fun Fact Friday. Hold on. There you go. Fun Friday. So we are gonna be listening, but we are gonna get read too. So let us go. Let's get some motivation real quick. Motivation for me. What's bruh name? Let me find bruh, cause I know he on. Hold on, I got something. Hold on. I got something specific maybe we can watch for the motivation today. I'm just gonna go see what bruh name is. I'm gonna go see what bruh name is on the I gotta go to my Instagram to find it. Let me see. Hold on. Alright. Alright, here we go. Let me see if he on YouTube. Is this him? Okay, yeah, that's him. So we gonna watch a bunch of these real quick. See if he got some. Let's see if he got some actual videos on here. Let me plug up the sound too. Plug the sound back in. There you go. You should have some. Those are all his videos. All right. Let's get this 1 minute video in here.
Always comes first, because all it takes is one clean rep. Most people wait for identity before they take action, but they don't realize that action always comes first, because all it takes is one clean rep, even when it's ugly. One deep work. Action creates evidence. Evidence builds your identity, and your identity is what fuels your action. And then momentum will compound until consistency becomes who you are, rather than what you force. Realize that your success is not based on what you think you are, but what you know you can do.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. All right, let's get another one.
Brother, staying focused isn't just about adding hacks. It's about unlearning the lies that you believed for years. Here are 3 beliefs that I had to unlearn to actually start locking in. Number 1 is that motivation drives results. I always used to wait until I was inspired to get any work done. But the days when I wasn't motivated, nothing got done. I had to realize that motivation is a mood, and moods are inconsistent. Systems, on the other hand, make results inevitable because they run no matter how you feel. The second was that multitasking meant I was being efficient. I thought that keeping 10 tabs open meant that I was being productive. But every time I would switch tasks, I would do nothing but lose my momentum. The reality is that
I think I muted y'all. I think I muted that last bit. Dang. I'm gonna play it again. It's only a minute.
Brother, staying focused isn't just about adding hacks. It's about unlearning the lies that you believed for years. Here are 3 beliefs that I had to unlearn to actually start locking in. Number 1 is that motivation drives results. I always used to wait until I was inspired to get any work done. But the days when I wasn't motivated, nothing got done. I had to realize that motivation is a mood, and moods are inconsistent. Systems, on the other hand, make results inevitable because they run no matter how you feel. The second was that multitasking meant I was being efficient. I thought that keeping 10 tabs open meant that I was being productive. But every time I would switch tasks, I would do nothing but lose my momentum. The reality is that focus only compounds when you go all in on one block, one task, and one outcome at a time. Multitasking is not efficiency. It's nothing but distraction in disguise. And number 3 was that discipline was about me forcing it. I used to think that discipline was all about grinding harder. But unfortunately, willpower burns out fast. What really works is reducing the friction. Clearing your desk, setting a timer, and starting small. Once the start is easy, finishing becomes automatic. Focus did not come from trying harder. It came from unlearning these 3 myths.
That's my boy. So I stumbled. Sorry, y'all didn't get to hear it the first time, but I stumbled upon that. Hey, what's up, Zanita67? I stumbled upon that yesterday as I was looking at my Instagram, and that wasn't the actual message that I saw, but the one I saw was like, yo, yeah. So hold on, let me send a text message real quick. Today, I want to look at some stuff, but I don't want to just pull it from our book today. And I see why they be like on them TV shows when they be writing a letter, they be reading it out loud, because it's easier when you writing or when you texting to like be like, I'm going to the store. My bad. Y'all forgive me. All right. So first, let's look at 2024 world facts. I ain't say what the world gonna look like in this looks interesting.
Let's see how learning about angles can help us learn skateboarding tricks.
I always hear skaters using
We
terms
probably
like
only watch a little bit of this, but
List 25 has gone supersized. I've boosted my brain capacity to bring you 250 facts, 10 times your usual amount of fun, all in one video.
Let's go.
So sit back, relax, and watch me push my voice to the breaking point as I give you the ultimate lowdown on movies, science, outer space, inner space, life hacks, food, world records, and all kinds of other crazy stuff in between. I'm Mike with List 25, and here
we
are,
gonna jump around.
well, 250 facts. It's also going to be a little bit different. That's a lot of facts, so I'm not going to say the number with everyone. Pasta reportedly boils faster if you do it in a frying pan. Just watch the water doesn't scald you. A giant 24-foot high McDonald's shake was poured into the Chicago River in 2010 on St. Patrick's Day. This was the popular mint-flavored Shamrock Shake, and the jumbo version was created to celebrate a $10,000 charity donation to Ronald McDonald House. Despite women not being allowed to race in the Boston Marathon at the time, Roberta Gibb managed to take part in 1966. The rules wouldn't be relaxed for another 6 years. Did you know that Yahoo isn't just a cool sounding name? It's also an acronym, meaning yet another hierarchical officious oracle.
Wow. Hey, we got our first stopping point. Wow. Yet another hierarchical officious oracle. What is officious? Or, well, I know an oracle, but yeah, and hierarchical.
Yeah, we've had our fill of those, right?
Right.
You can apparently remove a deep splinter in your skin by applying the mushy part of a banana peel to it. Yuck.
What?
Wrap it around the area like a band-aid and the splinter eventually comes out. This isn't a guaranteed fix, but some people really recommend it. Another mad medical fact, coconut water doubles as emergency blood plasma. Mad Max
What?
This isn't a fact, coconut water doubles as emergency blood plasma.
How long can you use it for? Hold on, let me fix the title. It ain't Healthy Mental Thursday. That's the real question. How long can you use it for?
Mad Max director George Miller funded the production of the movie by working as a doctor in an ER. This helped with the bloody mayhem presented on screen. There is only one place in America that grows coffee beans, and that's Hawaii. Everything else comes from other countries, which is actually pretty amazing given that the country basically runs on caffeine. 146 billion cups of coffee are consumed by Americans every year. This epic stat maybe isn't that surprising, but I'll tell you what is. People have always enjoyed engaging in physical combat, so no wonder wrestling is among the oldest sports on the planet. Experts believe it dates back to 708 BCE as an Olympic sport. The surface of your washer can double as a whiteboard. Just make sure the pen isn't going to leave a permanent mark before you try this, though. The Amish aren't as traditional as you think.
I didn't think of that. Did you think of that? Get one of them dry erase markers and just, all right, time started, blah, da, 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 da. And then you just wipe it off. And then when whoever come in and be like, oh, he left his stuff in there at this time, you better get this stuff out of here.
Computers, but strictly for stuff like word processing and admin.
Hold on, let me see. Wait,
They
what?
use computers. Try this, though. The Amish aren't as traditional as you think. They use computers, but strictly for stuff like word processing and admin.
Okay.
No way are you getting Netflix up there.
Yeah, right.
The computer mouse dates back all the way to 1964.
I seen that.
It was a block of wood on wheels. Speaking of wild technology, the water integrator was a computer created by the Russians in 1936. They say water and electricity shouldn't mix. Well, this computer was powered by water. Your pinky finger is stronger than it looks. It reportedly plays a major role in gripping strength. The percentage has been worked out at 33%. Before 2011, beer was considered a soft drink in Russia. We only found out...
Listen, it was a soda. It was considered a soda.
Before 2011, beer was considered a...
2011. I thought he said 19 or 18 something. He said 2011. Before 2011, beer was considered a soft drink in Russia.
Soft drink in Russia. We only found out who the killer was in Twin Peaks because the network forced them to reveal it in the second season. Technically, there's some of Africa under the ground in the United States. This is part of Pangaea, an epic continent from which are 7 continents.
Wait, pause. I gotta make sure sound is good. Okay, sound is good. Now what?
The network forced them to reveal it in the second season. Technically, there's some of Africa under the ground in the United States. This is part of Pangaea, an epic continent from which our 7 continents originate. The 250 million-year-old remnant, which was found in 2014, is reportedly close to Alabama. We associate the Olympics with being hosted by one country, but that wasn't always the case. In 1920, the Summer Olympics took place in Belgium and the Netherlands. Later in 1956, Melbourne hosted most of the games and Stockholm handled the equestrian activities. The tuberish bush cricket has testicles so large they take up 14% of its body mass. I don't know, one of those things are noisy. If you place a stocking over the end of your vacuum cleaner and secure it in place with a rubber band, it becomes a great tool for finding tiny items dropped on the floor. The vacuum sucks it up, but the nylon holds the little fella in position. Google has their grass cut by goats. They reportedly hire a couple of hundred goats as hairy gardeners. The Nazis discovered Catherine the Great's erotic furniture. These featured X-rated carvings, though I can't recall any penis furniture in the TV show with Elle Fanning. Meanwhile, Mozart had a dirty sense of humor and would often put jokes about bodily functions into his compositions. Natural flavoring contains a chemical extracted from a beaver's rear end. An amateur school production. Natural flavoring contains a chemical extracted from a beaver's rear end. An amateur school production of Alien was so successful that Sigourney Weaver herself turned up to watch it after the publicity went viral.
Imagine being able to build
Hey, these are fun. These are fun.
app with your name on it. just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Roe River in Montana is officially the world's shortest river at approximately 200 feet. Fans of skiing and ballet used to have their own special competitive sport. Ski ballet was all the rage for some on the snow until 2000. You may have gotten the impression that hippos can swim because they spend their time in water. It's actually not the case. They stay in the water, but on the bottom, like a scene out of The Little Mermaid. Watch out though, because they need to come out frequently in order to fill their lungs. A staple remover doesn't just remove staples. You can also pry open a key ring with it, saving yourself broken nails or unnecessary cuts trying to use your fingers. We have the QWERTY keyboard system partly due to issues with old machinery. The system was intended to prevent keys jamming, something that would happen if the board ran A to Z and you typed super fast. Thomas Edison filmed the first ever cat video in 1894, and it put today's cat videos to shame because it featured a feline boxing match complete with boxing gloves. Animal welfare wasn't the biggest concern back then. Edison was a big figure in electricity, though sometimes the power gets cut and you're left in the dark. Run out of candles? No, reach for your art supplies. You can light up a crayon for a quick and easy source of illumination.
How many of y'all knew that one?
When people become parents, their brains change. In fact, they
That's all you need to tell me. I can feel it. Can't you feel it? Couldn't now I got to talk now. Couldn't you feel it? Couldn't you feel it when you had your first kid? I ain't gonna go to the second, thirds, or however many, but when you had your first kid, you felt it. It was like, I ain't quite the same no more.
source of illumination. When people become parents, their brains change. In fact, they shrink. For example, a study published in 2023 showed that things such as visual processing were reduced in fathers. Brain training is all good, but you apparently start losing it in the mental department at 24. Yep, 24. A 2014 study revealed that not only do you slow down in your 20s, your cognitive speed decreases by approximately 15% every 15 years. Cantaloupe can be surprisingly expensive. The sought-after Yubari melon is one example. 2 of them are sold for over $27,000 in Japan.
What is that though? And how does it taste? And what did it get? Do it give me super speed?
15 years. Cantaloupe can be surprisingly expensive. The sought-after Yubari melon is one example. 2 of them are sold for over $27,000 in Japan in 2016. The North Pole isn't a landmass, but a sheet. Well, they call it a sheet, but it's actually around 3 miles deep. In geography terms, though, that's pretty thin. A snail looks squishy, but not all of it is like that. There is the shell, of course, but I'm talking about the teeth. And it doesn't just have a few chompers. I'm talking thousands and thousands of them. Gum on the carpet? Don't worry, it's cool. No, really, it's cool. Cold, in fact. Freeze the gum with ice cubes for 30 minutes. The hardened gum then breaks right off. Oh, and by the way, did you know Back to the Future started out as a story about a time-traveling refrigerator? That was until Steven Spielberg raised objections because he didn't want kids locking themselves in fridges. So they used a DeLorean instead. The biggest number of pencils that can fit in a beard is 59. This feat was achieved within a minute by Joel Strasser in 2021. Nokia is more than just a cell phone company. They've been around since 1865. They started out as a paper mill.
That's how it happened.
If you've ever called a Nokia phone a piece of crap, then get this. They made toilet paper. One small step for man, one small urination for mankind. Buzz Aldrin had a malfunction in his spacesuit, meaning that when he needed to go, he basically wet his pants. Not that you'd particularly care in that situation. You may know about astronaut Alan Shepard, who played golf on the moon in 1971. Well, did you know about Edgar Mitchell? Part of the same mission, Mitchell picked up a staff and threw it like a javelin on the lunar surface. You can't really damage your weenus by massaging it. That's the piece of loose skin on your elbow, by the way. There are approximately 540 peanuts on average in a jar of peanut butter. Harvey Keitel was originally cast in the lead role for Apocalypse Now. After a while, director Francis Ford Coppola realized he wasn't right and replaced him with Martin Sheen. A key reason appears to be that Keitel wasn't happy filming in the jungle, something that Keitel himself denies. People call it Bangkok. However, that's just the quick version. You want to know the real name? It's a staggering 21 words long. Krumtet Mahanakon Aman Ratanikosin Mahintara Yutatai Mahadilok Pop Naparat Ratachani Buriram Udon Rachani Wet Mahasatan Aman Piman Awatan Satit Sakatitai Watsini Komprasit. There's an important reason that the grass at Wimbledon is approximately 8 millimeters. Any longer, and snakes might get in. The grass at Wimbledon is approximately 8 millimeters. Any longer, and snakes might get in and start biting the players. This actually happened in 1949. Giraffes have an unusual and pretty disgusting way to prepare for sexy times. The male tastes the urine of the female. If it's off a carpet using something called denatured alcohol. This is basically souped up ethanol. If you're not in the US, you'll know it as methylated spirits. Rub your rag on the carpet and it should remove the problem paint. It's also recommended that you choose a rag that's the same color as the carpet to avoid bleeding. There's a McDonald's in Arizona with turquoise arches. Yellow arches were thought to draw attention away from the landscape. Charles Dickens nearly lost his classic novel Our Mutual Friend in a train crash. The train went over a bridge, as in nose first. The manuscript for the book was in the wreckage, but he went back and got it. Almost a third of your skeleton is made up of water. Plus, you have soft tissue inside your bones called bone marrow. The third of your skeleton is made up of water. Plus, you have soft tissue inside your bones called bone marrow. The old song lyric about dry bones, well, it's not quite accurate. For a while, a company called Cannon Films owned the movie rights to Spider-Man, but they misunderstood the idea. They were going to make a movie about a man who literally turns into a spider. And speaking of genetic weirdness, we have similar DNA to bananas. All living things are similar in some ways, but with bananas, there's reportedly over a 60% match. Go apple, go orange, go banana.
Weak erection.
What does that even mean?
You know you don't have to come all the way to the pharmacy to get your scripture, right?
If you're wondering how fast a continent can move, well then, look at your fingernails. The speed is comparable. Something to think about the next time they need a trim. Women only began competing at the Olympics in 1900s, which is incredible given that the Olympics has its origins thousands of years ago. If something is unfortunate enough to meet a Venus flytrap, it isn't a guaranteed death sentence. This deadly plant will actually count the number of times its potential victim disturbs the hairs on its leaves. If it happens twice in 20 seconds, then snap. You can use lint from the dryer to start a fire, as in a nice safe fire in an outdoor location with proper supervision. In the Garden of Eden, Eve was originally tempted by a fig, not an apple, according to early Christian art. Speaking of which, wasps lay their eggs inside figs. A fig typically contains wasp DNA. The Mozilla Firefox logo looks like a fox. I mean, why wouldn't it? However, it actually depicts a red panda. Iconic nurse Florence Nightingale was a crazy cat lady. She adopted approximately 60 of them. Also, she had an owl which she trained to playfully attack her own sister. Identical twins share everything, including the same smell. A scientific study from 2008 showed that body odor and genetics are linked. Parmesan cheese contains some wood pulp, or to be more precise, cellulose, which is a wood-based filler ingredient. Super Mario Bros. Stars Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo were reportedly drunk making the movie. The experience was allegedly so stressful that they needed to hit the bottle. Approximately 700 new species of animals are found in Brazil every year. While a golf ball is hard enough, 700 new species of animals are found in Brazil every year. Need to hit the bottle. Approximately 700 new species of animals are found in Brazil every year. While a golf ball is hard enough to cause a serious injury, you might be surprised to know the core is actually made of rubber. A bullet once ricocheted off an armadillo with nasty consequences for the shooter. How did you shoot yourself in the face? Oh, my bullet hit an armadillo. It's a crazy but true explanation. However, I should say this isn't the norm and that you can cause harm to an armadillo by shooting it. You can de-wrinkle light clothing such as shirts by adding ice cubes. After you've washed your clothes, put some ice cubes in the dryer. The resulting steam smooths out the fabric. You don't have to wait 24 hours before reporting a missing person. The first 3D printed building in the world is in Dubai. The Bayeux Tapestry is not actually a tapestry. It's a piece of embroidery. Plus, it's known for being a fictionalized version of what happened in 1066 at the Battle of Hastings. Your heart is designed to last a lifetime without flagging. The cordyceps fungi can infect and control ants before finally overwhelming and destroying them. While this horrific act is happening, the ant is basically a zombie. Ants are roasted and spiced as an alternative to cinema popcorn in Colombia. Darth Vader actor David Prowse revealed the ending in The Empire Strikes Back during a media interview. This was way before the revealed the ending in The Empire Strikes Back during a media interview. This was way before the second, or fifth, depending on your level of fandom, movie was released, with Prowse commenting on the general direction of the story. Star Wars creator George Lucas was not happy and reportedly banned Prowse from public events. If Pluto fell out of the sky and landed on Russia, then Russia could actually take it. The country has a larger surface area than a whole planet, at 17.1 square kilometers.
Yeah.
Here's a bone-chilling fact. They originally used animal bones to make the blades in figure skating. When they say a skater killed it on ice, well, maybe they weren't kidding. Is it possible for a shrimp to interfere with a submarine? Incredibly, it is. The pistol shrimp rivals Thanos in terms of its snap. The claw of the pistol shrimp forms only part of its 2-centimeter long body, yet can do a lot of damage in both the human and animal kingdom. If you have trouble fitting a bucket in the sink to fill it, then you can bridge the gap with a dustpan. The wide front and grooved handle mean the water flows into the scoop and along the handle groove out into the bucket. 7-Up used to be prescribed as an antidepressant. The Shanghai Tower has an
Oh my gosh. That just 7-Up used to be prescribed as an antidepressant. And then you look around and you be like, man, there ain't no more 7-Up. And then it ain't no more Sprite. It's Sierra Mist and oh man.
that moves at 40 miles an hour. It's an antidepressant. The Shanghai Tower has an elevator that moves at 40 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Gladiators in ancient Rome fought to the death, but only sometimes. The gladiator business could be compared to modern sport today. Huge amounts of money were involved, so it made no sense to invest in the gladiator only to have them slaughtered in their first fight.
Right.
You get taller as you sleep. This is because your cartilage has room to stretch out. Your body grows by approximately a centimeter, though you go back to regular height after you get up and the cartilage is compressed. French fries are Belgian. They were first cooked there in the 17th century. The Batman character Harley Quinn doesn't come from the comic books. She was specially created for the animated series in the 90s before going on to appear in 3 movies played by Margot Robbie.
I remember.
A cloud weighs 1,000,000 tons. Really? I mean, they look so light and fluffy. Grunting is a major part of tennis these days. So, it doesn't surprise me to learn that Maria Sharapova's noises rivaled an aircraft in volume. Barn owls are known to have breakups. The female flies the nest, leaving the male to look after the family. Which is totally unfair because he was the one who slept with the bald eagle in the first place. Uncooked spaghetti makes a great emergency candle lighter if you need to reach down real low to get that wick going. A casino company paid $28,000 for a partially eaten grilled cheese sandwich. Apparently, it looked like the Virgin Mary. There's a 61-mile grilled cheese sandwich.
It do. You can see it in there. Look.
Going. A casino company paid $28,000 for a partially eaten grilled cheese sandwich. Apparently, it looked like the Virgin Mary. There's a 61-mile-long conveyor belt in the Sahara Desert. Mammoths still walk the... There's a 61-mile-long conveyor...
For what?
...in the Sahara Desert. Mammoths still walk the earth at the time of the pyramids. Earwax isn't wax. It's a nasty gunk made by your oil and sweat gland, which also features dead skin and cholesterol. Bet your glad you ate so much of that as a kid, right?
I ain't never eaten no damn earwax, excuse me.
Agoraphobia is the fear of peanut butter, specifically getting it stuck to the roof of your mouth. Movie trailers started in 1913. Also, they came after the film, meaning they trailed it. That's where the name comes from, which really makes sense when you think about it. There are 3 countries within countries, Vatican City and San Marino in Italy, plus Lesotho in South Africa. They're referred to as enclaved countries.
Hey, stop playing with your fanny pack.
I'm sorry, but I can't stop
You
watching
need the
this.
bearskin tactical hoodie.
He got the best list
Out
right
of
now.
these, the city-state of Vatican City is the smallest country on the planet. It covers just 121 acres. When boxers take a break during a match, they're doing more than relaxing. They aim their gloves down, which lets blood flow into their arms, otherwise they'd be in big trouble. If a male penguin gives a female penguin a pebble, it's more than just an ordinary day in the Arctic. Pebbles are pretty special to the famous little creatures, so what you're saying is the closest thing to romance you can get in the animal kingdom. A made-up condition called bicycle face was used to prevent women from riding bikes and feeling too independent. Hot water freezes faster than cold water.
Hold up.
It sounds weird, but the evaporation when you...
Bicycle face. I'm sorry.
A condition called bicycle face was used to prevent women from riding bikes and feeling too independent. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. It sounds weird, but the evaporation when you place hot water in a super cold environment results in a lower amount of liquid, which is quicker and easier to freeze. The shortest war in history lasted approximately 40 minutes. This was the Anglo-Zanzibar War, which took place on August 27, 1896. The most intelligent human on the planet is believed to be Marilyn Vos Savant. She has an IQ of 228. Chocolate was historically used as money by the ancient Aztecs. I mean, I've been in a few sticky financial situations in my time, but this is something else. Yeah. English actor and screen legend David Warner was originally cast as Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but had to drop out. Images of the test makeup are out there to scare the heck out of you online. Because it was constructed on a lake hundreds of years ago, Mexico City is on the way down. Wow. As it drains the natural water supply below, the city gradually sinks, dropping it by approximately 3 feet every year. Now, Mexico City is going down, but the Himalayas by approximately... As it drains the natural... Constructed on a lake hundreds of years ago, Mexico City is on the way down. As it drains the natural water supply below, the city gradually sinks, dropping it by approximately 3 feet every year. Now, Mexico City is going down, but the Himalayas are going up. They're growing at a rate of 5 millimeters per year. This is due to tectonic plates colliding underneath. The Steagles were a super team of players from the Pittsburgh Steelers and Philadelphia Eagles American football teams. They joined forces in 1943 because of their heavily depleted numbers. Because, there was a little thing called World War II going on at the time. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. Onions make you cry. Or rather, they don't if you give the irritating onion mist somewhere else to go. A wet paper towel placed beneath the onion as you chop should do the job nicely. 7% of Americans believe you get chocolate milk from brown cows. Probably milkshake if you shake them. A spacesuit is surprisingly expensive. NASA can make one for a cool $12 million, at least in 1970s money. They're using decades-old suits. A new one would cost approximately $150 million. It appears people with disabilities were treated differently by society over 30,000 years ago. A 10 and 12-year-old boy were given a prestigious burial in Russia with precious items. One had issues with his bones, and the other was confined to bed, according to a study that remains. You have approximately 50 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Lipstick contains crushed betel acid. The longest film ever made is 85 hours. It's called The Cure for Insomnia and was released in 1987. And I'm guessing the title was accurate. Earth didn't always look the way it does, with continents being formed over thousands of years. That process is still happening, with North America and Asia drawing closer together over time. This is reducing the size of the Pacific little by little. It's physically impossible for a high jumper to stay in the air for longer than a single second. Polar bears aren't white. It's just the way they reflect the light. Their fur is translucent. Meanwhile, their skin is black. Using the font Comic Sans helps you type better. You take the silly font less seriously, whereas with serious fonts like Arial, you're too anxious about making mistakes. Henry Gunther died in World War I, 1 minute before the conflict officially ended. If you want peace and quiet, go to space. It's the ultimate destination for meditators, librarians, and other quiet-loving types because it's completely silent due to the lack of atmosphere. Before the late 15th century, all children were called girls. The word could apply to either sex. You're more likely to make mistakes while multitasking because the human word could apply to... Before the late 15th century, all children were called girls. The word could apply to either sex. You're more likely to make mistakes while multitasking because the human brain can only effectively focus on one task at a time. What you see as multitasking is actually juggling single tasks. You can hallucinate if you eat enough nutmeg. Nintendo's Mario was originally supposed to be Popeye the Sailor Man. If the original plan fell into place, it would be Super Popeye World. Because the rights couldn't be obtained for the character, Mario was created instead. Speaking of Nintendo, they haven't always been a video game company. They originally produced playing cards. The gaming side of the business started in 1975.
You see how Zanita67, I hope you out there watching this. You see how every company was always a company, or every business was always a business, and they just changed their business, like Nokia with some toilet paper, and now they was selling phones. We ain't getting no opportunity to do none of that. I didn't. I don't know.
Nearly a century after the company was founded.
I used to have a music company. Now I got the game broadcasting company. I'm getting to do it now.
Mount Everest isn't the highest mountain. It's the highest above sea level. The mightiest mountain overall is Mauna Kea in Hawaii. This exists both overground and underground. At 32,808 feet, Mauna Kea licks Everest by 3 underground. At 32,000.
Look how huge that is. Look how huge that is. I wonder if you can even go over there. What mountain is that?
Mountain. It's the highest above sea level. The mightiest mountain overall is Mauna Kea in Hawaii. This exists both overground and underground. At 32,808 feet, Mauna Kea licks Everest by 3,000 feet. If you feel you're not so great at sports, here's a stat that'll comfort you. The great Shaquille O'Neal missed 5,317 free throws during his time as a basketball player. He's still the best, but it shows the pros make mistakes like anyone else. Sand theft is a serious problem. Huge quantities of sand were dug up and removed when no one was watching. A whole beach was stolen in Jamaica in 2008.
What?
Want to know if a battery's dead? Why not try a whole beach? Pros during his time as a basketball player. He's still the best, but it shows the pros make mistakes like anyone else. Sand theft is a serious problem. Huge quantities of sand were dug up and removed when no one was watching. A whole beach was stolen in Jamaica in 2008. Want to know if a battery's dead? Why not try bouncing it? Apparently, if it bounces like a ball, you need to change it. Be careful though, because batteries famously have acid inside. Henry Zieglin died when a bullet flew out of an exploding tree and killed him. The bullet was in the tree because someone had tried to shoot Zieglin years earlier. Mission successful?
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about your body that your regular scale will never tell you. For weeks, my scale showed I wasn't losing weight.
The moon has thousands of craters. Early of an exploding tree and killed him. The bullet was. Henry Zieglin died when a bullet flew out of an exploding tree and killed him. The bullet was in the tree because someone had tried to shoot Zieglin years earlier. Mission successful? The moon has thousands.
I see they got it all on lock. You know who they get a lot of their ideas from. Yeah, they got it all. They got it all figured out.
They cover the vast majority of its surface. It's been worked out that just over 4.5% of the moon's geography is crater-free. Hitler rode around in a train called America. Yes, it was named after America, who were his enemies. One person not on board for the ride was his nephew. William Patrick Stewart Houston would fight for the Allies against his crazy uncle during World War II. You could have who were his enemies. One person not on board for the ride was his nephew. William Patrick Stewart Houston would fight for the Allies against his crazy uncle during World War II. You could apparently ease vertigo by placing an ice pack against the base of your skull in the area between your ears and the top of your neck. Don't exceed 20 minutes or you might get frostbite. Consult a medical professional over any home remedy. World of Warcraft helped medical science. The character of contagion spreader Hakar was studied by scientists in connection with real-life outbreaks and their transmission.
I heard about that.
So the next time someone accuses you of sitting on your butt playing video games, tell them that story. Alaska is found both in the west and the east of the United States. In fact, it's the furthest state in either direction. It stretches into the eastern hemisphere from the west. Meanwhile, Africa occupies the northern, southern, eastern, and western hemispheres, the only continent to do so. A boxing match that lasted 110 rounds and went on for over 7 hours? That's just the way they did things back in 1893. Right. This is the longest such fight in sporting history, and unsurprisingly, it ended in a no contest. If boxing sounds a little too brutal for you, then maybe you should try chess boxing? Unbelievable though it may seem, this is an actual cross between chess and boxing. Several hundred million years ago, the Earth had a covering of
We
giant
stopping. Hold on.
mushrooms.
We're going to watch this last one and then we're going to.
Several hundred million years ago, the Earth had a covering of giant mushrooms. Reminds me
That mean them mushrooms still there somewhere on this planet.
first level of Sonic and Knuckles. You can kind of trap a Kindle library rental by setting your device to airplane mode. Technically, this gives you all the time in the world to read the book. And boxing.
Chess boxing. All right, we about to look this up and then we ending for the day. Hold up. But we're going to save this for next Friday. We'll finish it. All right, I got to see this. Chess boxing. I think this is healthy for us as people. If I do say so myself.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
Are you ready? Big pop. And the vote earning a TKO, so Eric.
Corner. He has a very big advantage. Does he have an advantage that's good enough to put him away in the chess? I don't know, but he's winning on both fronts right now.
Yeah, it's looking really good. By the way, for everybody watching at home, you can see this match both in French, Spanish, and English if you click the gear in the bottom right, as well as all the previous VODs. They've been uploaded for your pleasure to watch as we get into our final match here between these two competitors.
Yeah, so Toast has blundered his knight over here, but yeah, you see, Point Crow goes forward, and Toast forgetting.
Yeah.
He's forgetting the queen can take.
Right, so when you were in check, you can either move the king with the knight, or you can capture the...
Hit the clock, it's now a legal move, it's not mate!
Dude, that's how I used to play with my uncle. Just hold it there for an hour because he'd yell at me if I...
No, it's like slow rolling. It's like in poker, you play, they make it...
Has a lot to prove.
So what they do?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're getting another boxing round, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. So if they don't win, they box.
Really? Toast has a lot to prove in the ring, Matt. From what you saw in the first round, you think it's possible?
Absolutely. Toast showed great signs of knowing how to keep Point Crow at a distance. He landed one of the cleanest shots of the round with a right hand right over the...
Here,
Let's see this.
Moving the head enough to dodge.
All right, one stoppage already for Point Crow. He gets 3 in this round.
Swings.
Why are we sitting down? They're fighting. We can at least stand.
Final over sticker, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, I ain't seen no boxing yet.
Now after it's over, stick around.
He's gonna be able to get any uppercuts. Yeah.
Back inside. Oh, a great slip and counter from Toast.
Oh, and Toast on the attack.
And now 2 more shots later for Toast. Definitely the advantage so far to Toast.
Toast looking good. Point Crow reaching for a hug. The crowd's getting excited by this. Still 50 seconds on the clock. Over half the time remaining. Great hits from Point Crow.
Yeah, but Toast doing a great job getting out of the way. Toast is not taking.
So they ain't no boxers. They ain't no.
Yeah, and that's a great.
And then they get the table set back
and it
up.
gets captured.
And that's one of them.
And there's a very bad chance we get this checkmate. That move one on the board.
5. Crowd's murmuring.
Maiden one on the board. There it is!
Toast!
That's our first checkmate of the night. A fucking amazing main event.
That's crazy. Chess boxing. Now you can come in there and you be like, man, I'd have been training. But did you get your chess skills right? You could be training for chess, but ain't got the boxing skills right. I never knew this existed. You see what we always learning something on Expansion Pack. All right, so I'm gonna get on up out of here for y'all for the week. I gotta pick it up for my 2K two-a-days. Y'all tune in, non-stop stream. Just jump in the chat, say what's up. I'm gonna run it this weekend. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all not next week. Next week I will be taking the week off. I got some new gadgets and some new hardware that need to get put up into the system, and I got some cleaning I got to do around here, so I'm gonna take the week off, and I will see y'all the following week. So not this upcoming week, we will not have an expansion pack episode, but the following week after that. All right, y'all, peace. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. This is DGTA TV. Peace. That power. See that power and ability over to some second-hand thing. They made me do it. He made me. She made me. I made me. We. First, take the time to consider. And like my mama always say, make good choices. That's be hard, boy. Boy, I mean, like, gotta make that choice. It's easy because of the boundaries of my discipline. Easy. But it's difficult when there are so many different diverging variables that could break off in so many different ways that you be like, I don't want to do nothing. I probably am not going to do anything, as a matter of fact. That's too far. I ain't going there. I done boxed myself in. But it's a great box after coming from being all willy-nilly doing, just making choices anywhere like I can't get hurt or cannot have any consequences that befall me. All right? So, be a gardener is what I'm trying to do. And I ain't coming to y'all telling y'all I got it all figured out, but I'm gardening and I'm reaping what I sow every time. Knock on wood, throw salt over the shoulder, snap, and get it off me. You know, pray. Amen. All of the above. Because when you're faced with this choice versus that choice, this situation came into your life, you trying to pay this, you trying to do that, but not trying to hurt nobody. But them getting crazy over there, you might have to hurt somebody. So if you want somebody to love, if you need, it's just a tough place that we're in without the realization I gave at the beginning. And that realization is you have the choice. Don't give that power away. Make the choice with the information that you got. But if y'all didn't hear me say it and you didn't read between the lines, heaven and hell, we are here. You can go there. You can actually, in my belief, and this is my strict opinion, partly create it for yourself, or at least, like we say to the kids, set yourself up for success by making can't say good, can't say bad, by sowing your seeds properly. I got you. By sowing your seeds properly, you gardener. You're a gardener. Yes, you are. You're a farmer. You're a gardener. You're everything you need to be. So let's see what's up. Gardening. Watch this title. Watch I type in gardening as told by the Bible. Let's see what they say about gardening. Let's see what my man's got. I know he got something good.
I'll be honest, my first therapy session did not go well, but it taught me something important. You don't get the best results.
Good morning, everybody. As I'm walking through the garden, I can't help but feel that I'm not alone out here. And I feel this way a lot. So I wanted to start a series where we talk about the Bible in a gardening way, in a gardening sense. So if you're interested, sit back, relax. So follow with me as we walk through our gardens and we talk about the Bible.
Let's see what he got.
Okay, so
Hey,
let me
that
give a
looks
little
fun.
bit about my background. Real
That
quick.
Harvest Moon, yeah, you know
I'm
about
not a
it.
preacher. I do not have any degrees in theology. I'm the grandson of a preacher. I grew up in the church for pretty much my whole life. And there comes a time when you hear something in your head, in your mind, you feel a need to do something, to say something, to share something, that you decide it's time. And for me, being a gardener, I have always felt that there is something else, there's something more to just planting seeds, than to just harvesting crops, than to sharing all this on YouTube with everybody. That I wanted to do a deep dive into the Bible on this topic of gardening, because I always felt that there was just something so biblical about gardening. So I did some research.
Let's
and
see what you got.
I want to share what I have found
Talk to
on
me,
the
bro.
topic of the Bible and gardening. Why is gardening so important in the Bible? Why are so many stories or lessons that Jesus taught in a way that refers to gardening? Let's get into this. Okay, so I do have a question for you. How many times is the word garden used in the Bible?
Y'all know that answer? I do not know. I can go look it up, but I want to see what my man say.
Does anyone know? 52 times.
Dang.
How many times is the word gardening mentioned in the Bible? 12 times. Now I know what you're going to say right off the bat. Chad, that's really not a lot. It actually really is, if you really think about it. Garden or gardening, or references to the act of gardening, are just littered through the Bible. Why is that? Think about it. Why? Right? That has always been the question for me in my mind since I really started gardening, and especially over the last year or so, which we'll get into that here in a little while. Let's do a little bit of history on the word garden.
Okay.
Okay, in Aramaic, which was the language of Jesus' time, the word garden is this word right here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I don't want to butcher it. That word was derived from the Hebrew word pardres, which I'm sure I just destroyed. Now the word Gethsemane is translated to oil press, which is also associated with garden. In Latin, the word garden is called hortus.
So Prince Garden, which in turn derived vulture and the garden. All right.
I'm sure I butchered that one. And that is a word that is a root word